It's the Al Travis Show, but we love getting him in here once a week. He's Jerry Groskreutz, farmer extraordinaire. Jerry, how you doing, my friend?
Well, I'm doing really well, although all good things do come to an end. Our beautiful fall kind of ended. And with the calendar very soon saying December, I'm not sure we're going to have any super nice weather anymore, but
No,
can't complain. Did you hear that? I'm not complaining.
I know, well, because you're into coffee shop weather, right? Now is the time you can meet the buddies at the coffee shop, play some bridge or something, and tell old stories. Because you're not missing out on anything. You can't be in the field. You can't be doing stuff. So we're back into that. You deserve some time off. I'm not ripping it at all. Will you be going to the expo? I was reading this. The Corn and Soybean Expo is going on in Mankato in January 20th and 21st. Is that something you do?
I've been there for 15, 20 years. It used to be over at first at Jackpot Junction by Morton. And then a number of years ago, they moved it over to Mankato. And boy, getting really big crowds there in Mankato. Yeah, it's a great time. All sorts of speakers and a lot of different exhibitors set up, farm groups, commodity organizations, agribusinesses. They're a great place to have it in Mankato. And I remember back, it was held at the Minneapolis Convention Center in downtown Minneapolis.
Oh, wow. And what exactly does Jerry, you've been doing this 45 years, what do you get out of this? Like all of a sudden some guy's going to have a booth there and it's like, oh, I didn't know we could do this. Is it like that? Or are you just there I see you coming with a big old backpack and you're just like grabbing free crap. You're getting free pens. You got the little squishy ball, get your stress out, that sort of thing. Is that what Jerry does?
No, I go there for the interviews because a lot of the companies that are there, be they seed and herbicide companies or whatever, they want to talk about their latest and greatest. There are some really big name speakers there, like talking about markets and all sorts of things, really topics relevant to the time. So it's a great 2 days. And I drive back and forth because Mankato isn't that far from Faribault. So it's a great time, and a lot of farmers go. Maybe Al Travis should make a guest appearance.
I would go if I was guaranteed enough pens. I run out of pens. No one's ever run out of pens. All right. The pen industry is just a side note. Is there anybody anywhere in the world that doesn't have a drawer full of crap pens with somebody else's logo on them?
Probably not if they're a farmer.
No, well, not if they're anybody. Everybody, we've got drawers of these pens. All right. One other thing. Peach and Blossom, have you gone to visit them yet? Do you know who they are?
Yes,
you do.
I know
oh
who
my
they
God!
are.
I thought I was going to stump you.
No, that's the famous turkeys from last year making their home at Farm America. And the reason that I have a double excuse to go over there is a little over a year ago, they did some remodeling in their visitor center, and I still haven't seen that. So I got a double dose, and maybe they'll give me their autograph. How they give you an autograph, we'll leave open to your imagination.
Peach and Blossom, for folks who don't know, were the pardoned turkeys by Joe Biden. Remember a year ago, we said they were Minnesota-raised turkeys, which just seemed like a pain. I don't know how they got them from here to there, bottom of a Delta blend. Do you really?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
well, give me the insight.
I talked to the 10, 12-year-old little boy that took care of. They pick a number of them just in case one would happen to get sick. And John Zimmerman was president of the National Turkey Federation in northern Rice County. So he had a spot and they had a few turkeys, and his son took care of them because you want to have them kind of domesticated and tame, so kind of like a pet.
Not pecking the president, yeah.
Yeah, yep. And so I volunteered to go along and clean up after these turkeys, going to the White House in Washington, D.C. I mean, I'm used to cleaning up after animals. I used to be a dairy farmer. Yep.
Sure.
Well, you know what John said? Didn't figure they could get me through the background security check.
Probably true, but now, okay, so folks know that Peach and Blossom were their name. They were pardoned by the president. In all honesty, I knew they weren't going to take them out back and butcher them. I mean, I knew that in case some kid, but I didn't think they made it. I honestly believed as soon as the Thanksgiving hype was done, they were going over the Rainbow Bridge, buddy. I did not know they literally saved these turkeys. They're back in Minnesota. They're at Farm America, like you're talking about. That's what is that? That's in Waseca, right?
Yep, so just west of Waseca, about 4 miles, Minnesota's Agriculture Interpretive Center. And you know what's really cool about what happened a little over a year ago? I knew this was going on. And I'm sitting here in the studio about 6 o'clock in the morning, and we've got 5 big screen TVs. And all at once, all of the TVs had John Zimmerman, his son that I knew, and Farm America was there, and Tom Peterson, the Commissioner of Agriculture. And how often does someone like me get to see it on national TV? Hey, I know those people.
Yeah, you more than most because you know a lot of people. But here's the thing. I get Farm America, but do they know the amount of work they now have for a lifetime, or at least a turkey's lifetime? They had to build a pen, a place for it to go. It gets pretty cold in Minnesota in the wintertime. Got to have a place for them. And somebody now, obviously the last one hired at Farm America, got to throw the feed in, got to put the straw in, got to clean it out once a week. This becomes a problem or an issue, in my opinion. And it's like, if at your place of work, Jerry, they decided at your radio station, we're going to get a dog. And it's the radio dog. And Jerry, you're in charge of the mascot. So now you have to make sure it's fed. You got to make sure it goes out, every 2 hours. Then you got to get back in. If he does his little business, you're going to have to clean it all up. You have an unwanted pet. Does Farm America really want 2 turkeys it has to hang on to for life?
I believe so. And they were excited about it, even built a separate little turkey coop for them. Oh. But they've got some other livestock there too, off and on, or a good share of the time. So there's someone there, and they have so many volunteers that I'll bet the volunteers would even be more than willing to come in and help out and take care of the famous turkeys.
Okay, but let's play this down the road, okay? Peach and Blossom. How long does a turkey live? If you didn't butcher him, how long does a turkey live?
I asked that once. I thought I looked up 10, 12 years.
That's a long time, but okay. So Old Blossom, little old Blossom and Old Peach get to near the end, right? They're probably not going to die in the same day, but one of them, you walk in to Farm America, and there's Old Blossom laying down, taking the dirt nap. How are you explaining that to the kids? This whole circle of life crap happening right there in front of you, and then what happens? Can you eat 10-year-old turkey? That can't be good.
I would think that maybe it's a little bit tough by that point. So you never know. Maybe there'll be a little gravesite there at Farm America for the famous.
Oh, my God. Would that be funny? 50 years from now, kids will be walking by the gravesite of Peach and Blossom. That's amazing. And
see, the thing is, Al, if I meet Peach and Blossom in person, that's going to be the closest I ever get, the closest connection to getting to the White House. So
you got to get a picture with them, by the way. This is what we do. Get a selfie with the 2 turkeys. Because this is great, because think of the number of them. There's obviously the 2 that are nationwide, but the governor is going to be pardoning a turkey here in Minnesota as well. That's 3. That's 52 turkeys a year if they're doing this all across the nation. 52 turkeys a year are having to find homes because they're never going to die. I mean, they'll die, but they're not going to, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot of turkey presentations.
I'm not sure that other states do it. We do because Minnesota is number 1 in turkey production. Right. And I saw the Secretary of Agriculture, Rawlings, and some others, the president of the National Turkey Federation must be from North Carolina because they were down there with the famous turkeys that are going. So I just think maybe I'm old, Al, but it's tradition in Minnesota and maybe North Carolina.
Well, all I know is I believed until I was like 15 years old that there was really only one Lassie, and that wasn't true. When I watched Lassie on TV, they were like in their 3rd Lassie, and it devastated me. So Old Peach, Old Blossom will be watching out for you. They're going to be at Farm America starting this year, so go check them out. Jerry, I got to go to break. We'll come back. I want to talk about the Wolves with you, not the Timberwolves. Well, Timberwolves, but Wolves in Minnesota. We talk about that next with Jerry Groskreutz, farmer extraordinaire, on the Al Travis Show. We've got him, Jerry Groskreutz, our farmer extraordinaire, talking all things farming here in the state of Minnesota. There's a recent wolf sighting up at the Ely School District on the grounds, and now lawmakers are wondering what to do. Representative Pete Stauber, he is the representative up there. He said that the sign's pretty clear. The gray wolf, it's recovered. We should delist them, get them off the Endangered Species Act, so then you can start killing them. Now, should we or should we not? I don't know what the number is, but you know if that wolf had grabbed a kid and got him in the woods, we'd be shooting them all over the place, right? I mean, but it didn't happen. Is there a number? How many animals is okay for a farmer to lose before it's time to delist them?
Well, I know going to the State Cattlemen's Convention, you go to the Minnesota Farm Bureau State Convention, you go to the Farmers Union State Convention.
Yep.
It's always a topic that comes up because not down our neck of the woods, but you go up farther north, you got cattle out on pasture, they have the calf, and now you got a little calf that's about the size of a good-sized wolf, and the wolf gets hungry, and guess who wins? And there is an indemnity fund through the Minnesota Department of Agriculture that if you go through the paperwork and you document, you can be reimbursed, but it's a tough issue, and this is my personal opinion now, I'm not sure why we need more predators like that in Minnesota. We've got the coyotes and we've got enough issues, but some think that if they were native here, they should be back here.
So we actually have a fund that'll pay a farmer back if their cow gets eaten by a wolf?
Yes.
Would that happen for a kid as well? If that kid in the would that'd be interesting? What do you get for a good kid these days?
I'll bet that would be a completely different category there. We wouldn't be laughing about it, especially if it was my son or my grandson or granddaughter.
Agreed. We're happy no kids were harmed in this joke. All right, let me ask you this, Jer. We got her all in. I got to think now Minnesota's 100%, right? Most of the corn is. Was it above or beyond, good, bad, or what was our season like when it comes to corn and beans?
I think generally overall, very good season, probably not a record. We'll get the final numbers from the USDA in the January report. But, our little area down there on the opposite end of your county got blasted middle of June. It was 6.5 inches of rain in 2 hours. Yep. About 2 weeks later, we got another 5-inch rain. And then later on, in the middle of August, a little later, we got lucky. How's this for being lucky? We only got another 5 or 6 inch rain. Waseca got 11 inches. So there was a little area in there that really got blasted by rain again. But then I was talking to a farmer I know over toward Lake City, best crop that they had ever had, 260, 280 bushel corn.
Wow.
Best crop that they had. And I was happy for them because the last 3 years, they'd been really dry. We were getting rain and they weren't. And like I've said before, when you've been at this as many decades as some of us, we know that we all take our turn at Mother Nature kicking us in the backside.
How are prices generally? Are the corn and soybeans about where they would have been a year ago? I mean, we keep talking this tariff thing. They want to say tariffs are the reason everything costs more. Where are we at on the prices? Are they pretty steady?
Still pretty steady from last year at this time. And I'm banking, there's an old saying in the grain trade, even though we are off the lows, that if the bears get Thanksgiving, the bulls get Christmas. Bear market is low prices, bull market is high prices. But we'll see if that happens. I sure hope it does, because it still isn't very pretty when we've got a 3 in front of our cash corn price. Yeah. And unfortunately, beans rallied about $1 a bushel from last fall when we harvested, but still below the cost of production, even with really high yields for most farmers.
Wow. Okay. One last thing then, if all of that is true and is roughly the same, how are you seeing land prices or rental prices for land going? Are we looking at, I guess I saw from a friend, the taxes on the land was going up quite a little bit this year in Minnesota. So then you can't see the cost of rent going down. I mean, it's costing more just to own it. Where do you see the land prices going?
Well, part of me wants them to kind of stay stable because that's the equity base of a lot of farm operations, the land that we own. And that's what really contributed to the farm crisis of the 80s when land prices dropped by 2/3, went from
Gotcha.
$3,000 an acre in our area to $1,000 an acre. So it's good
Gotcha.
that they're staying level, so at least our equity
That
is
makes
there.
sense.
But it's
That
still
makes
not
sense.
going to be a pretty winter unless we get some rally here. But
All right.
on the other hand, think of this, Al, even if you got close to $4 bushel corn and you harvested 40 or 50 bushel an acre more than you anticipated, that really helps the cure for low prices because you got so
Yeah.
many bushels to sell. And the same thing if you got 10, 15 bushel an acre more beans, the tough part is for those that didn't have the really
Yeah.
good yields.
Gotcha. Always the same, just different year, right? It's the Al Travis Show. Jerry, appreciate you being on the program, my friend. I always do. We'll get back in here in a week or so. Fair enough.
Sure thing, and I'll see if I can get a picture for Al and the famous turkeys.
You with Peach and Blossom, I would love that. That'd be fantastic. We'll put it on the website. He's Jerry Groskreutz, farmer extraordinaire, right here on the Al Travis Show. More to come.